Hey ladies, welcome to High Heels and Destiny. Today is Wonderful Wednesday, and it is wonderful. Today, ladies, we have a special guest, ex-wife of an NFL player, Angela Marshall. She is a creative content consultant, and you guys, I like to bring nothing but the very best, and we have the best on board with us, Angela.
Hola, hola.
Introduce yourself, Angela. Tell them a little bit about you.
Hello, hello to the amazing audience and viewers and listeners of High Heels and Destiny. It is my pleasure, it is my honor to just be on here and share truths and testimony with each one of you because we are all the same. We're in the same boat, we're on the same shore, we're coming from the same, from the same cloth, and everybody's just trying to be better and do better. I am Angela Marshall. I'm a creative content consultant. I'm a ghostwriter. I am my proudest accomplishments. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I am a woman simply put on a mission to uplift, to encourage, to inspire through my words, work, and wisdom. I am the sole teacher of how to live vicariously through yourself. How about that? So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to learn how to stop comparing ourselves, how to stop, just downing ourselves and putting so much emphasis on that societal pressure and what different people say, how we should look, how we should talk, how we should walk, how we should, where we should be in life. And we're just going to, take some time for self, which self is to shine, to evolve, to love, and to fulfill ourselves.
Yes, I love it. And also, Angela, really quickly, can you go ahead and put your handles out there, your website, your social media, just in case someone want to look you up, follow you, reach out to you?
Absolutely. My website is www.inotherwordsbystone.com. I'm also known as the Wise Words Woman. My platform is the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. Any of those handles will get you straight to me on all of my social media outlets. Thank you again.
Thank you. It's such an honor to have you on board. So you guys, we're going to jump right in. As I said in the introduction, I know you guys was like, oh my God, she's the ex-wife of an NFL player. We're going to touch bases on that, but we're not going to marinate in that. There's more to her journey, her purpose, and her story. So we're gonna touch bases on that, but you guys, we're not going to wallow around in that for a long period of time because she has just some great nuggets that she can share and just give us. It's going to just help all women in all areas, just not the NFL area, but just abroad. So Angela, okay, as I mentioned before, you was the ex-wife of an NFL player. What did that life look like? When did that life begin for you?
Well, we actually met in high school. So we were what you would term high school sweethearts. We had a very, very interesting relationship early on in high school where I think I gravitated to him, ladies, because they kind of say like you have the yin and the yang or opposites attract. He was this very confident man, young man that knew what he wanted, knew who he was, where he was going in life. I did not. So I just kind of hitched my wagon onto him and thus began the relationship known as Arthur, that's my ex-husband, and Angela. Now, going into that lifestyle, I will say that it was very humbling. And that is a very, very good word to put. I don't think I've ever used the word humbling before because I think a lot of people look at it and they figure, it's vain. There's a lot of vanity, a lot of shallowness, a lot of egotistical type attitudes and whatnot. And there are, however, for me, a person who actually was yearning for growth within herself. That's why I use the term that it was humbling for me. It taught me that I really, really needed to not worry about what people thought. I needed to not worry about what people, what other people saw in me. Now, the caveat or the disclaimer to that is if you know you're a mess or you're mishandling people or you're doing things that's not right, obviously being, looking at your reflection and being better, aspiring to be better and do better, absolutely. But what I mean by that is when it comes to the comparisons, this world is so riddled and so full of trying to hold you to these standards that are really unattainable, because by the time you reach one standard by the societal trends and styles and pressures, they've already come out with the next greatest and latest thing. So you're still behind the mark. You will never be good enough. You will never be worthy enough in their eyes. So what I had to do was I had to really slow down and stop trying to be everything to everybody else and nothing to myself. So there's a nugget right there for you ladies, because we do that as a female, as a woman, as a nurturer, not to leave the guys out, but me speaking on behalf of myself, putting everybody and everything before us and not really taking care of, ourselves mentally and emotionally, physically. That's a really good one, because a lot of us, we're like, no, get a little aches and pains. We bear this or bear that burden, but we just keep on, keeping on for everybody else, as opposed to just really looking inward at ourselves and slowing down and taking time to take care of ourselves. So that whole lifestyle taught me that not to be selfish and just, pour all into me or make everything about me, but it definitely taught me, you know what, Angela, you have to live your life for you as well. So the NFL lifestyle was filled with great people with awesome experiences, as one might assume, because a lot of that stuff, a lot of people see that on TV, or they see different events or different things, and I'm sure people like that. However, from where I sat at certain times in that lifestyle, it made me very, very uncomfortable. And it made me uncomfortable because, there's these quiet, quote unquote, standards that you're supposed to look a certain way. And you're supposed to live here. You're supposed to drive this. You're supposed to, buy this or only shop here. And those things can be very, very detrimental to a person's mentality, especially when you're as young as we were going into it. Because, you got to remember, we were like, or think about it, we were only in our early 20s. So, we're still trying to identify and find ourselves. And then we have the world or this lifestyle that's telling us how we're supposed to be, or who we're supposed to be. So it was very humbling. I'm very grateful for it, because it made me who sits now before you, and also one who is able to just walk so boldly in her truth now. There is nothing, ladies, absolutely, that I'm ashamed of. Do I have regrets? I absolutely have some regrets. But when it comes to just being, how I was back then or wasn't, different things that, made me a little, I don't know, walk with a little hump in my shoulder or slouch in my shoulder. Now, I can sit tall, I can stand tall, and just be very proud. I'm just happy that lifestyle happened, because everything, all those roads led me to where I am and who I am today, which is Angela Marshall, that has her own business. In other words, by Stone. I have clients. I help people tell their stories. I help people, just really transform their lives, help them get off the bench and get in the game of life, which is very important.
Let me ask you a question, Angela. We live in this world where everybody feel like that lifestyle is like, I want to live it. Whether it's a rapper, a football player, a basketball player. Okay, you guys in your early 20s and you transition, you're going from high school, college, or whatever, and you transition to this lifestyle. When you transition to that lifestyle, was it excitement in the beginning? Like, yes, I'm about to be kind of like in a higher level in life, the life that, we're going to be honest, the life that most women like, I want to live this life. I want this lifestyle. How are you in the beginning just transforming from high school, college, or whatever to, okay, this is my lifestyle?
Girl, I was so totally different. I cried on the airplane all the way from Augusta, Georgia to Denver, Colorado, which was our first stop, because he played for 3 years for the Denver Broncos. I cried. I mean, I was not this person, and I don't know, you call it different or just being, maybe being gullible at that particular time, or being afraid, being fearful. But I just, I didn't see it as this Cinderella fairy tale. And I don't know why. I mean, I can't explain it. I just didn't. I saw it as I'm being taken away from my family, not against my will now, because of course at that particular time we had 2 children and I was, going with him and we were going to start this life together. But I just felt so unworthy. I felt like I was not going to fit. I felt like like I was just very, very, very fearful. Now, some of the wives that were, that I began to link up with, that started to change after maybe the second year, where I felt, started getting a little bit more comfortable within my skin and got a little bit more relaxed. And then things became exciting for me. But let me just say this. I don't care any type of transformation that you are attempting to be in, or you are attempting, when you don't know who you are and you're not comfortable within your own spirit, your own skin, your own mind, your own body, within your own soul, you will never feel like you fit in, period. Mm-hmm. I don't care. There's no amount of commas, dollars, cents. I don't care how many Benzes, big mansions or whatever. You will never ever feel good enough or feel worthy, period. And that's just, for the majority of that time, that's how I felt. But it's not a reflection of the NFL. I've gotten so many mean letters and mean comments about that. My story and my platform is not knocking or denouncing money, is not denouncing or knocking the NFL. I'm talking about me, and it's solely and purely about me, my growth, my lack thereof, just everything within me that just was not right, that I needed to really face, and then I needed to defeat, which I've done. And so now I'm on this totally different destiny in my high heels, and I am moving onward, upward, and forward, as so should you.
And so I have 2 more questions, and we're going to keep on moving to the next subject. The first question is, how many kids at what age did you have kids, and what age did you guys get married?
Okay,
considering the fact that you were fresh out of, high school.
Fresh out of high school. So 17, had the daughter, our son at 17, Auburn, our daughter at 19. We got married. I was, I feel so embarrassed. I think I was like 20, that I'm embarrassed that I can't remember, not at the age.
Girl, that's fine. I
want to say it was early 20s, definitely. Mm-hmm. But you know how sometimes you just block those things out of your life. But it was 1993. So whatever, 1993, it was like early 20s when we got married. So again, you're talking about 2 people that were thrust into this lifestyle that, again, we're still trying to. He knew more of who he was and what he wanted. Mm-hmm. I knew absolutely nothing. My identity would change if I merged with you, if you were my friend, and then the next person, and the next. I mean, it was just it was a lot of chaos going on in my mind mentally. Yeah.
And so, okay, so you guys that had kids or whatever, you the guys that got married, you doing life, you living this life that most people feel like, I just want to live. And so things start to turn, we have this perfect plan for life. We all have this perfect plan. Sometimes life goes as planned. Sometimes life don't go as planned. And so things start to take a turn for the worse. And you guys start to get divorced. No one wants to get a divorce. Most people who really get married for the right intentions want to be with that person, especially a person you bear kids with forever and ever and ever. What happened when things start to take a turn from for the wrong direction, and how did it start to affect you mentally, emotionally?
Well, I will honestly say that I was already a mess. I was a hot mess before I met him. I was a hot mess when we got married. I was a hot mess after the divorce. I can't blame that on him, and I will not. What I will say, though, is looking back over all of that, experience, like when we started with just the nonstop bickering. There was always some bickering, but I mean, it was just like, it was so evident that I was not going to be able to help him grow, and he wasn't going to be able to help me grow. So with that being at the center and at the forefront, it was just, we just said, well, I think that we're not going to be able to honor our vow to God. So at that point, it was just a matter of owning it and saying, I'm just going to have to face the consequences for not honoring this vow. And that's what I decided to do. And that's why I filed in 1999. We were married. Now, we dated 7 years before we got married. We were married for 6, got married in 1993, and then I filed for divorce in 1999, and our divorce was final in 2000. So there was a lot of opportunity to learn from those losses. And, you know, I think the biggest lesson that I learned at that point was making sure that I know how to love myself, that I know how to respect myself, that I know how to, you know, motivate and inspire myself, be happy with myself before I link or try to, you know, make somebody else happy or to love somebody else. Because ladies, that is a true statement. I mean, I know it sounds very cliche, you know, like a cliche. If you can't love anybody until you love yourself, but it's very, very true. And I'm finding that to be more and more the case as I continue this journey that I'm on to just really grow and to sow and to glow. Because the more you love yourself, you are definitely able to love somebody wholly. You're more able to love them completely. And that's understanding that they're human, that they make mistakes. You know, so with that being said, I think the divorce was it was amicable. Like, he knew it. He knew that. I think he felt like he was unequally yoked, and he had hitched to you know, someone who was not going to be able to take him to the next level. And I knew that he was not somebody that was going to be able to take me to the next level. So we just, you know, we tried to do it as nice as possible. Didn't work that way for the first 8 years. We hated each other. but we've been divorced for 20 years. Okay, let me give you ladies some hope. We've been divorced for 20 years. The first 8 years was horrible, but now it's like such a you know, refreshing and you know, such a better relationship that the two of us have. Of course, now we have 2 adult children. We have 5 amazing biological grandchildren. So, you know, of course, you gotta, you know, you got eyes and stuff on you, so you have to act better, you have to do better.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Something you said, and you accept accountability, and accountability is everything. You said that you was a hot mess, and I know our viewers like, what she mean when she said she was a hot mess? Can you go a little bit into what a hot? Because maybe what you're saying, a hot mess, maybe a woman can be like, maybe I have that characteristic. Maybe I need to work on it. So can you, because you accept the accountability for whatever it is. So you don't have to give us everything, but can you kind of somewhat touch bases on what a hot mess is?
I sure will. First, let me say this. I do believe that when I tell my truth, other people's lies don't matter. So that's why I'm never ashamed about coming out with, you know, being forthright with anything that I've done, didn't do, or whatever. So with that being said, when I say a hot mess, first, I mean, not really having an identity within myself or who I was. And that was prior to meeting him. Let me put another disclaimer out there. I'm not saying that because I'm light skinned and I grew up in an all African American environment where I was actually different. So I was picked on a lot. I was picked on by classmates, by even within my own family, you know, some of my cousins or whatever. And I know it was family banter, if you would, but still psychologically, it does something to you. So I'm not saying that was the cause, because I still should have been strong enough to bounce back or to, you know, not allow any of that to affect me, but it did. So it actually started there. And then it just compounded, you know, high school. And so I started looking for outlet or love, started being reckless, started being fast, you know, where once I was all into music. Like, I was a really good musician, could play the piano, could play the clarinet. Now, you know, my focus is on boys, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that no more. I always joke, ladies, and say that Alicia Keys stole my life. But I gave up all of that because now, you know, like, I'm searching and I'm trailing behind boys and trying to get the attention and the affection that I feel like I didn't get as a child, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it all kind of started there. And then you know, then you get that independent, and I know I'm gonna get some comments about this one, but you get that independent, stronger than thou woman. So I'm battling with my husband You know, he's trying to lead. And I mean, this is like an ordained marriage. It wasn't just like, you know, it wasn't, you know, honored before God, like it's ordained, but I'm battling for control. I'm
A lot of
you know,
women.
flipping off at the mouth.
A lot of
I know
women.
better, you know. So, you know, that was one facet of it. And then of course, after the divorce, because I had children early and because we were married early, you know, then you start hitting that club scene and you start going out and just being reckless in your behavior, and you're doing all the things that you didn't get an opportunity to do because, you know, I had children and I was married and stuff. So all of it just kind of came full circle and kind of crashing down. And it forced me to actually pay attention to my life, which I think if you don't reveal, you can't heal.
Ooh.
So
That's good.
I actually had to look at my life in totality, and it was ugly. It wasn't. Let me see. Do y'all see my shirt?
She rocking the high heels and that's
I'm
shirt.
rocking that shirt. I said pretty in ugly situations. So even though my actions from time to time, my reactions were ugly, you know, I sat pretty, but I sat pretty because of that covering with God, because of the prayers of, you know, church members. My grandmother was a praying grandmother, my aunts and family members, that godparents that, you know, prayed over me, my amazing church home pastor. So I can honestly say that rocking this shirt is definitely a testimony to my life. But yeah, I was a hot mess, hot in the behind, just looking for love in all the wrong places and trying to figure it out, not really giving the attention where it should have been, and that was on me. Like I needed to really find love within myself as opposed to external. So that's why I say, you know, that I was a hot mess.
Thank you for the transparency. So we moving on to the next part. Okay, so you got a divorce. Okay, for most people, and even the Bible said that divorce can feel like death. Did it feel like death? How were you after you divorced your husband, going through that process mentally, emotionally? Were you like, okay, you know, it's time to go to the next stage, or did some parts and pieces of you, you know, even though you knew and he knew that it was not going to work, but did some parts and pieces in you start to die that you had to revise again?
I was like a psychotic person. Listen, ladies, I was like the emojis on the Facebook. I was like love, mad, angry, sad, reverse, sad, angry, mad. I mean, like hey, listen, for many, many years. So don't, you know, don't listen to people when they're like, oh, it was so this or that. I think we just kind of, you know, you got to go through just like a barrage of emotions and feelings and expressions in order to get to that place of peace. I will never forget, my mentor just said something here recently, and it was like, you know, people are always asking for peace. I need peace. I need peace. But in order to obtain peace, what do you need? War. So you have to go to war with yourself. And that's what I had to do. I had to really set myself on fire, blow myself up. I mean, I was like a true basket case from time to time. But again, it brought me to this place of fulfillment, of confidence, and you know, now where I'm just really settled in my spirit and in my soul with who I am. And that makes all the difference in the world. Of course, you know, you want to point fingers at your ex-spouse, your ex-husband, wife, you know, your ex-boyfriend, whoever, when you go through a breakup. But really, I had to really come to the understanding that no matter what he did or didn't do, no matter what he said or he didn't say, I'm only in control of me. At the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, I can only control Angela. And in order for me to be a better Angela, I couldn't focus on Arthur because Arthur's going on with his life. I had to focus on me. And so that's what I did. I just really took that time after I was like a basket case going, pointing fingers. Then I'm like, then I'm crying. Then I'm happy. I'm going out with the girls. We having fun. Then I go back home. Then I'm boo-hooing because I'm all alone. I mean, it was like a true roller coaster, girls. I'm just being honest. But I
Right.
think to get all of that out of my system was absolutely necessary. There's a song by Fantasia. I love it. And that's what it's called. It was necessary. All of that was necessary. So looking back, I'm very happy that I actually took the time to just express myself in all of those ways, because I think sometimes when you suppress how you're feeling, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, again, you can't heal if you don't reveal.
And that's good that you say that. You said something about, you went through all the different emotions. And I'm glad you said that, because we live in this world where I got to get over to move on. I get divorced next month. 3 months later, I'm already in a relationship, or I'm already looking to be engaged or married. Like, let's be honest. Like they say, hurt people hurt people. So we're continuing to repeat this cycle where we hurting people, man hurting woman, woman hurting man, and man got animosity against woman got animosity against man, because we're not taking the time to go through all the emotions, the emojis. We just want the happy face emoji and the heart love emoji, and then we want to go on with life and we want to live our best life. But at some point, at some place, we're going to say, you know what? I know looking in the mirror don't look good. I know looking in the mirror don't feel good, but this is reality, and this is what I got to do in order to heal, because we are a product of what we produce. So if you are broken, hurt, then 9 times out of 10 you're going to attract another relationship, and then we'll get on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be like, well, men ain't no good, or women ain't no good, but we haven't even took the time to even detox, to go through all the emojis. I gotta steal that one. To
You
go
can
through
have
all the
it.
different emojis, the happy, the sad, the laughter, the mean face, the woe face, we haven't taken the time. And even with me going through a divorce, this year, it's okay to go through those emotions. It's okay to say I'm hurt. It's okay to say I don't have it all figured out. We've been so equipped to being told, be strong, girl, you bounce back, you good. No, it's not good. We got to get out of our mind that we strong, because we're not. Because under that strong girl, there's a girl that's hurting. Under that girl that's hurting, there's a girl that's crying. And under the girl that's crying, there's a girl that's seeking for help. And until, like you say, until we get to that, then we're constantly producing bad relationship, friendships over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. Okay. Helpful people help people. Strong people strengthen people.
Ooh.
Weak people weaken people.
Ooh.
Okay.
You gotta stop it, girl.
Don't stop me now.
You gotta stop it.
But it's true. From when you look at that, when you look at things from that perspective, but of course, like you said, you got to turn that mirror on yourself. I'm not saying that to throw shade or diss at anybody else. That is for me. And when you take the time to really come from a place of what I need to do, what can I do to get better? What I need to do to get better and bolder and brighter, then you're able to see when you are being hurtful and you're hurting people, when you are in your weakened states and you're weakening other people. I think it just helps you with a very, very good set of eyes to be able to recognize all of that, and then to do something about it. Because ultimately, I don't care how much knowledge, how much revelation or whatever you have, until you apply it, it has no power. Okay.
And so, okay, we going through the cycles of the divorce. Now your lifestyle have changed financially. That's the hardest things for women. I mean, not just women on a higher level, but any woman that's married from a 2 income to now is 1 income. How did that affect you with the income and getting back into life and going back to a regular job when you used to have this custom made lifestyle?
Absolutely. Girl, I done blew my life up 3 times like that, okay? On purpose, So I'm used to it.
Mhm.
But what I will say is redirection and change is not easy for anyone, male or female, adults or children. And it's so funny because I hear people say, oh, I don't want to take the kids through this, or I don't want to do this or that for the children or whatever. Like, they're the ones that's not, that's going to be mostly impacted or affected. But really it's us, the adult, because we hide a lot from the children.
Yes.
But absolutely, I will say, listening to some of the chatter, I guess if you would, the rumors and the gossip that was going around town after we got a divorce, and I mean just really a lot of lies, about what happened and all this other kind of stuff. If I did not have the strength of my family, my friends, I had some really, really close friends at the time that helped me to get through and get over all of that. I don't know what I would have done, but I know that a good support system during that time is very important, because yes, I went from being a football player's wife to having money at my disposal, having things at my disposal, to now I'm at this job, working for $10 an hour, because that's how when I first started out in 1999, that's what I was making, $10 an hour, and trying to make ends meet with $10 an hour and 2 children is hard. Okay, so being able to just trust God, have faith in knowing that, yes, this road is going to be a rocky road, but it's one that I chose. So, just like we have to accept rewards when we get blessings, we have to accept consequences and burdens. Now my whole trajectory and my mindset now, when I wake up in the morning, I thank God now for burdens and for blessings. I thank God for problems and for answers, because you can't have one without the other. It just doesn't work that way. And sometimes it's going to be rain, and then sometimes it's going to be sunshine. But through it all, I'm very, very thankful and very grateful.
I admire your strength. You say you thank God for the problems and solutions. I wake up like, God, another day, another problem. What kind of ghetto stuff is this, God? Another problem? God, I just got over the other problem last week, and you just sent me, I ain't never been good at math, God, and you just sent me another problem? I'm not doing this today.
Wow.
But at least you are humble enough to say, I don't say that, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I get up acting a fool. I get up and I go through all the emojis with these problems. And I'm not gonna lie, that's my truth.
Well, see, I was you many years ago. So look, this is what you had to look forward to. You get that freedom, and you understand what what true growth actually looks like. And what it looks like is just being grateful through it all. And that's why it bothers me when people are like, I just want peace. I just want peace. I just want peace. The only people that have peace are the people that's in the graveyards. Okay, because I mean, realistically, if you look at it, there are situations, there are issues, there are things that's going to arise that you're going to have to deal with as long as you have breath in your body. Now, I'm not saying be one who loves discord or loves drama, because I know that there's people out there, they live for that. I'm not talking about that. But, when it comes to someone who is really, in my opinion, just looking for this yellow brick road all the time, I don't know where that's at.
That's me.
Because I mean, look, because even on the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy never found it. Remember, she found it, then veered off, and then she got back on, then veered off again. I mean, that's just the cycle of life. That's just how it happens. And then I think when we embrace that, when we do have problems and we do have burdens, we do have issues, either we overcome them faster, we get through them, or we do as God, really wants us to, we grow from them. Because how else can you effectively turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones unless you start, tackling and stepping on them and stepping over them, or doing whatever it is that you need to do to face that problem. You can't,
Right. And I think people, we live in a world where people, they so used to, if you want to get something mail, you can get it express mail. We live in a world where people want microwavable gratification, love, microwave, finances, microwave, success. No one wants oven baked. And there's work in oven bake, because you got to season that thing, you got to sit there and you got to let it cook. It takes time. But see, we don't want time. People don't want time. They want it to be microwave. And that's why it's so many things, like the same cycles keep happening over and over again. Or either people can't come into one and accept, like, this is life, this is situations. It's like, it don't supposed to be like this. It don't look like this on Instagram. It don't look like this on Facebook. It don't look like this on my friend page. Why am I going through this? And so people want all this. And so when they can't get it, they found other ways. Whether that means spending money on cars, clothes, shoes, or, relational, high sex, addictions, to try to fill that void.
That's
Rather
right.
than just
Well,
allowing things to be oven baked.
Well, like you said, I mean, please, ladies, or anyone that's really looking towards social media and thinking that that is 100% real, it is not. Okay.
Mm-mm.
The majority of the stuff that you see on there, it's designed to show you the better part of me. And that's one of the reasons why I am so transparent and so true. Like, I'll get on there certain days, my hair be looking a hot mess before I put product in it. You know how people will say, "Oh, your hair's so pretty, your hair's so whatever." And I'm like, I'm not Beyonce, sweetheart. I don't wake up like this. This is Carol's daughter, okay? So it takes some time, and it takes it takes effort, bottom line. And then there are times when I get on and I may be like, yeah, I'm having a rough day. I'm having, of course I'm not going to air my dirty laundry for those that are trying to prey, PREY, on me to put my problems out there. But there's certain things, because I figure if I'm going through it, somebody else may be going through it. So I want to share whatever I need to, so that we all can just live vicariously through ourselves, bottom line. But the social media is absolutely the worst. Don't ever believe any, that everything is coming up roses for, I don't care whoever it is. It could be your mama, daddy, sister, cousin, best friend. There are problems to be had within any household. And then even if it's not in your household, it's in here. I don't wake up positive penny every day. It's not even possible. I have to put on a positive mindset on purpose. I have to choose happy. I have to choose life. I have to choose forgiveness. I have to choose love. I have to choose, to be a part of the solution and not the problem. It's all a choice. And it's crazy to me. Like, I have some mentees that will say, well, I didn't know that I had a choice. Well, who life are you living?
Right.
Because for you, everything is, for our lives, everything is a decision and it's a choice. I choose to be bitter. I choose to be happy. I choose to let it go. I choose to walk away. I choose to stay. I choose to, stay married. I choose to be divorced. Whatever it is, it's a choice. And you just have to live with whatever choice you make.
I remember when I first started off with motivational speaking, for women, and a man asked me, he said, what makes you different from any other motivation speaker? And in the beginning, I couldn't answer it. And so I was on social media and I was watching somebody, and my answer came to me, and I called him back. I said, well, what makes me different as a motivation speaker is transparency. And like you said, being able to have those transparent moments. I'm not going to get up every day and give you a feel good, hey, today is a great day. Go to life. And then you got somebody on the other side that's watching you like, man, Miranda, Angela, always happy. Look at my stupid life. It just sucks. Like, I was happy, and then now you got people depressed over a lie, something that's not even true. So, I was like, transparency is what make me different, because I'm not going to get on to you, hey girl, hey, I'm happy today. Today's a great day. I put messages on my feed on Instagram. Hey, today is a rough day. I've been crying today, but I'm going to pick up my bag and walk anyway, just to let that person know that I'm just like you. I'm no better than you, regardless of the smile on my face. I have pain, I have tears, but I still manage. You said the word choice. I still have a choice to pick up my bag and walk despite thereof. And I think transparency is everything. It's everything.
Yeah,
And
that
so
is
moving
absolutely.
forward, you done went through all this transition from, high school to getting married to NFL player, to experiencing life, to being a hot mess, to divorce, and to changing your lifestyle financially. At what point did you say, you know what, Angela, I'm going to pick up my bag and I am going to walk into purpose. Enough is enough. There is destiny waiting on me. There's life waiting on me, and I'm ready to go forward.
So actually, that came about at a very traumatic time for me, where my biological mother, I was not raised by her. I was raised by my grandparents. We had a very rough and strained relationship. But towards the end of her life in 2013, well, actually a couple of years before that, we started mending, and we got to know each other and have a really good relationship. So in 2013, as she was transitioning, she had cervical cancer. The cancer eventually metastasized to her brain. She was diagnosed with that in June of 2013, and she died in August of 2013. I tell this story that I think that as I held my mother's hand for those last 2 months, June, July, August of 2013, is my mom. One of the things I will say, I was an only child by my mother. One thing I will say, and I resented her for, was she lived her life full. She lived it free. She didn't care. Dropped me off, and she, went on gallivanting to explore life. But I think there was some sort of transference of, as I would hold her hand, and then just as we talked and went through different things as she was transitioning, that gave me the permission to live my life. At that particular time, still not necessarily dating anyone. Had two adult children now at that time. And when my mother told me, she was like, I'm really proud of you. I want you to live your life. She said, I want you to do everything that you want to do. I know you want to be a writer, just don't write about me. That's one of the things that she would always say. But I think at that point, she gave me permission to go be great, whatever that looks like. And so one of the things that I always enjoyed doing was writing. I love reading. I love telling stories. I love helping people put things in words, that would, inspire or uplift, or that would just make people go, wow, So I think it was just inevitable that I start my creative content business, where I'm a ghostwriter. I help people, I write speeches, I write slogans, I write grants, bids, proposals, anything, all documents. I'm your girl. But one of the things that I started doing a little differently after her transition was I started walking more bolder within myself. And I started feeling like I mattered. I started feeling like, I really have a good path or a good plan in life. And I need to start executing some of these things so then I can live a free and fulfilled life, just like my mother did, who I used to resent for so many years. So that was a part of it. That was a part of what I call the transformation for me, and then being able to, just put everything together and, bring it into fruition for my life.
So how did it look, and what did it feel like? How did it look, and what did it feel like when you put on your heels, you picked up your bag, and you said, you know what, I'm going for life. This is it. I'm going for life. What did that look and feel like?
Well, initially, I felt like Superwoman, girl. I felt like Catwoman, Batwoman, Superwoman, all of those phenomenal women that we look to and say, wow, I got strength. Then the reality set in, like, okay, well, you have purpose, and you know this, and you have a path, you have a plan, and you have goals and all that. You mean I got to get out there and work towards it too? I actually have to do some things. Wait a minute, where did that come from? But it's always been a part of it, because faith without works
It's dead.
It's dead.
Mhm.
Bottom line, you got to put the action in with it. It's not like, the Bible where it says, ask and it shall be given, and knock, and the door shall be open. But on further down, it's like, but you got to work. You have some things that you have to put in place, excuse me, in order for God to honor what you're desiring and requiring, as it pertains to what you deemed your purpose is. So it was again, I don't know why I keep going back to my life just being, these emojis, but it's true. Excuse me, it's true. Like, you go through all of this, happy, sad, mad, um, care, and just everything. It's just always, for me, it's just always been that way. So I think that looking back over that period where my mom transitioned, I stepped out on faith. A year later, I put in my resignation because I was actually working at a firm. At a company that I had been working in for like 16 years. Then I stepped out and I'm excited. And then, the bills start coming in and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Where is it at, God? Where's all of this, with all of this stuff that's supposed to help me to walk in this amazing purpose? Right. And I just look at it now as it purpose does exactly what it is designed to do, and that is to make you grow so that you can glorify God. It's not about the money. It's not about feeling like, oh, well, if I have to downsize or if I have to do this or that, and, people are going to talk, or this is going to be said, or whatever. Even from the things that I've failed at, or that I've, different mistakes that I've made along the way. Now I'm so in tune and so confident with my purpose until it doesn't even matter. Like I said, like I'm just thankful. Like, I'm thankful for breath. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for the gifts, the talents, the skills, the ability for me to just be able to just be and become. And when you look at it, I think from that, from that angle, it's like different opportunities and different seats at tables. People different doors start opening for you because it is no longer, like I'm just looking for the payoff. Like, I'm actually enjoying the journey and the process. I don't care. Heap the dirt on me, brush the dirt off, water me too much, dig me up, put me back under, as a seed, replant me, repot me, however you said. But now, it's like every part of the process, I'm really, really thankful and grateful.
So throughout this whole process, how did God play a role in this process? Your relationship with God, what did that look like? How did it play a process from you going to that high school girl to this woman you are today?
Girl, when I tell you I felt like a true female Job from the Bible.
Ooh, girl. Now that Job is worse than Revelation. I rather read Revelation over Job. I just can't complete the whole book of Job, right?
Listen. That's my life. But again, once you get settled in who you are, you don't take things like that personally. So even failures now, which I have many failures, many mistakes, many missteps, you don't take them personally. But once upon a time, I was just like, God, if one more thing happened to me, because it was just, sometimes it gets the burdens and the blocks, should I say, get really, really heavy. But that's when I believe God is like, okay, now I'm going to send a very good support system for you to be comforted. And it's not like the miserable comforters that he faced. Now, it's some out there that, they're not in my circle anymore, because here's another nugget, ladies. You have to be very careful about the circle that you choose, because some are links and some are kinks. Okay. Ooh. So with that being
explain to them what the links and the kinks means, just in case they don't know.
Okay, so the links are those like family, close family and friends, or it could even be connections that are there to uplift you and encourage you. Those kinks are the ones that want to see you fail. You know, they're not there, they're not clapping for your rise, they're cheering for your demise. So you have to be very careful, you know, with sharing certain things and thinking that they're praying for you. They're not. You know, they're really hoping that you fail, and that's why they're trying to stay so close to you, because they want to get, you know, in your business and know what you're doing and how you're doing it. So either they can gossip and lie about it, or again, you know, they can be trying to work against you. So that's why I call them a kink. You know, it's something that doesn't quite fit. Is not with that link in that chain and that circle. They're not you know, they're the direct opposite of it. So you have to be very careful with that. Sometimes I believe that people like that are put in place just so God can see how, you know, how strong your relationship truly is with him. Because you have to have a really discerning spirit, or be able to know when something or someone is good for you and when they're not. And for us, you know, sometimes as nurturers, I think as women, it's like, oh, we want to believe everybody's so good and everybody's for us. And that's just not true. And it's the same way. Let me, you know, put another disclaimer out there. At certain points, I have to really mirror on myself and see, am I adding value to this person? Am I adding value to this relationship? Am I adding value to this business? And if it's not, then I have to be adult enough to remove myself.
That's good.
And that's pretty big, because, you know, we always want to think that it's somebody else. Oh, it's his fault. It's her fault. It's this, you know, whatever. But hey, both of my hands up. Sometimes flesh is weak. That's you know, how I'm going to put it, ladies. The flesh is weak. So sometimes it truly is me. But I want my walk, and that's why I'm on this spiritual journey that I'm on now, because I want my walk, and I want my, you know, I want my talk, I want my actions, I want everything that I'm doing and leaving a legacy on this earth, you know, to this world. I want it to be so that I can really solidify my relationship with the God in me, you know, the God in Christ in me, because ultimately that's the only thing that's going to, you know, that's going to last. Everything else about me will wither away. You know, it's not like somebody's gonna have my clothes and my handbags and my high heels, even though they are cute, you know, and stuff like that. Nobody will care.
Right.
You know, nobody's gonna talk about that when you're, you know, when you're no longer on this earth. You know, they may say you dress nice or whatever, but I mean, I think when you understand what your relationship, how your relationship needs to be with God, and that we're actually put on this earth so that we can glorify him, like through all things. And I'm not saying that everything that I do is perfect and is spiritual. So let me just clarify that. But I'm getting better and I'm growing. And that is definitely the intention, and something that I do every single day to try to make sure that that relationship upward is first. You know, I always want to do that, upward first and then outward second, because that's external, that's to everybody else. But if I'm not where I need to be upward and aligned, you know, with the God in Christ in me, then outwardly I can't be, you know, my best self or my blessed self with you, you know, or with anyone else.
That's good. That's really good. So we're going to get to the last part. And the last part is dating after a divorce. Let's talk about dating. We in this world, dating. It's a lot of people say it's not looking good out here. Let's talk about dating. Let's talk about it.
Well,
have it been easy? Have you dated? Have you remarried? Are you engaged? Do you just like, God, rebuild me a man just for me and send him to me, and that's gonna be my man, and I'm gonna stick by him, as they say? What have it been like?
Well, let's just say this. No, I am 21 years divorced, not remarried. I have had and I'm just gonna put it out there. I've had, in that time frame, because we've been divorced since 2000, I've had 2 exclusive relationships. The last one was 2011, exclusive relationship, where, ladies, this is my transparency, they were ready and I was not, because I was still unpacking baggage from my marriage and from my child and whatever else, and just in all fairness to them, I just wasn't ready. So my last exclusive relationship was 2011. Now on my Jada tip, I've had a few entanglements. I've had a few entanglements and I've had some interactions. Okay. I honestly, I don't know at this point. I think that I know that I still have quite a bit of inner work to do to get settled for that man that God has for me. And I don't think that it's a case of where I just need to sit still and like he's just gonna fall in my lap, or like osmosis, he's just gonna appear one day. I know I still have to, I have to go out and I have to go different places and interact with them. I have to make myself available to certain situations or just being out, in order to meet someone. But I think at this particular point where I'm going in my life with my brand and my business, it's just very hard. You have, but another disclaimer out there, you have the guy that's intimidated because you own your own business, and then with where my lifestyle once was, when they find out that I'm the former wife of an NFL player, ooh, heebie-jeebers. It's like a dark cloud. It's like a dark cloud, descends, because then all of these stereotypes and stigmas come into play. So that's one. Two, I think that I can be unapproachable sometimes because, again, I'm a female that was raised by a very independent, strong Black woman. So I'm still trying to learn how to be submissive and how to, be by the side as opposed to out front. But in my defense, because being single and being independent and having my own business and having to conduct clients and different things, it's a little hard to tone that down sometimes. It's a little difficult to dial it back. So I just want the guys to give me a pass, to give me a break from time to time, because it's not intentional. Now, I've met some great guys. I will say the ones that are not local here with me have been the best for me to interact with and enjoy and get to know. I don't know why. It just is what it is. And when I say that, sometimes some of the local guys, if I see them, they're like, "What? You trying to dog us?" No, hey, the truth will set you free. But I think that right now, what I'm looking for, because I'm 49, I'll be 50 in November. What I'm looking for is a spiritual intimacy. And until you can achieve that with me, like, you can't get connected. You can't get close to me. I don't care who it is, because I've been on the other side of that. I've been on the flesh side of that. I've been on the, just having sex, just to have sex, or having relations just to have, I've experienced that. I didn't like it. That's not what I want. So now, I'm turning to more of, what else do you have to offer? I'll give you a quick, I want to take up your viewers' time too much, but I'll give you a quick snippet of what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes we have a tendency when we meet people, we're trying to put our best foot forward and we're trying to show all these things, right? So, like, I had a guy one time that was talking to me, and he was like, "You are, you're so pretty, you're so, you're so lively and all this other kind of stuff. I want to come pick you up." And then he started naming the type of car that he had. Okay. And then, of course, that led into, and then I'm gonna, I got to put on this for you. And he started with all these labels and stuff. And so I sat back and I let him talk. And then I said, "Well, answer this for me. So I know Ralph Lauren's worth. I know what Bentley is worth. and I'm just rattling off because he's like telling me his shoes and all, and I'm like, and I know, well, who are you and what are you worth?
Ooh, girl.
Because at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day, when all of that's gone, or you take all that off, or you step outside of that, who are you?
Oh, that's good.
Because then that's what I have to deal with, right? And it's the same for me. So that's why I'm really working on my inner person, because I want to have substance to give to someone, to make a home, to make a life, and to take it one step further, to make a godly life.
Oh,
because I feel like, because I, like they say, when you know certain things and you believe them in your heart, as far as like scriptural and biblical, you're held accountable for them. So I think a lot of my interactions and entanglements did not work, because God was like, baby girl, you already know what you're accountable for, what it's going to take to make it work, but you're still trying to, instead of going the word's way, you're going the world's way.
Oh, that's good. Oh, girl. That's good. That is good.
So I think for me, I think that's been, that's been probably the biggest thing. Guys were great, just not necessarily great for me, and I wasn't great for them, but hey, there's still hope. I'm keeping hope alive.
And see, that's the thing. When you're a child, a daughter of God, can't know anything just get your attention. Can't know anything just come and grab you. When you're a child of God, I really feel in my heart that He have an armor around you. Where usually when you're not under His covering, anybody can come and get you, boo, boo, boo. But when you covered by God, He shields you from a lot of people that would normally, like little wood rafts that would normally come your way. They don't come your way. So let me ask you this one question before we give it a close. By you being successful and you making a certain income bracket, what if you meet this guy? Me and my friend had this conversation. What if you meet this guy and he's under your income bracket, but he's this great guy? What?
I will say this: shoot your shot, okay? If he shoots his shot and his bow and arrow or his ball and the net and all of that is godly and godlike, I'm his girl. That's how I look at it. I'm really at a point to where I'm not looking at a person's status. I'm not looking at their career. I'm not looking at their position. Not even money as a factor per se with all of those things. I mean, of course, for me, you have to be aspiring to uplift, to be better, and to do better. Because again, the Bible, biblical scripture, it says, don't be unequally yoked. So but I feel like that's mental. I don't think that has anything to do with, my bank account is here and his is there, or his bank account could be here and mine is there. I don't think that's it. I think it's, okay, his bank account is here, mine is here, but my mindset is up here. Right. So I'm able to raise that, or so for any situations or issues that may arise within our relationship, we're able to have that godly and that the mindset that we need, so that we can be a truly powerful couple. So I don't look at things like that. Honestly, I never did. It's just that I think my aura, as you mentioned, and my energy, usually the only type of guys, usually I have had some that, have, I can't get mad at them for shooting their shot no matter what. But typically they've been, they're like business, professionals, pretty respectful guys. So I wouldn't look down on anyone or any guy for, trying to better himself, because that's how I would look at it if he tried to hitch with me.
So so the last thing, me and you, we was on the phone, we was talking about success. And most people see success as cars, clothes, homes, money, all this lavish. But your success was different. Tell them what your success looked like.
Success for me is my 5 amazing grand boys and their little arms coming to me, hugging me, giving me, just loving and doting on me, and being able to absorb my energy and my time. It's my two children. Success is my two children, two amazing adult children. Being able to impart and, just really give value and knowledge to them, for them to carry on from myself, you know. Success is also my friends, my amazing friends, my family members whom I love dearly, my supporters, connections that I have, anything or anyone that serves the higher calling and higher purpose for my life, and anything and anyone that I serve into their higher purpose and higher calling for their life. That is true success. I define it as, if it is something that I can replace, then it's not true success. It's not a true riches for me. A lot of people, or as humans, we have a tendency to put value on all these things as opposed to valuing people. And I think that is really sad when you look at the scope of everything. And that's why there's so much suicide and depression and different things, because we're saying, this pair of glasses is more important, or has more value than my life, or that maybe somebody else's life, just because it's a particular designer or label or whatever. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. It's just a lie, pretty much, that we fed into, and we somehow from time to time continue to perpetuate and to feed into. But I'm happy that I am able to show my grandchildren and my children that despite everything that I've come from, that I've come through it. So that's what success truly looks like for me. I don't care who I've met along the way, even with my ex-husband and different people that I've been around. It means absolutely nothing. I love them to life. However, they're human, their soul, their spirit, just like I am. I don't place any value over any. I don't care who it is. I don't place any more value on someone that's on TV or whatever than someone who is standing on the corner with a sign.
Right. And so before we close, I know we have a woman out there that's watching you, and you went from being a lavish lifestyle to divorce to walking in purpose. What would you say to the woman that feel like, I can't get up again? She may not have the lavish lifestyle, but she's divorced and she feel like, this is my end. There is no beginning. I cannot see past this. Life is over. What would you say to her if you had the opportunity to?
I would just say this: when you define yourself, which you have to take time to define yourself, but once you define yourself, no one and nothing will be able to confine you.
That's good.
Okay. So you have to be very, very intentional, and you have to be aggressive with yourself. You have to really face yourself and force yourself to be, to do, and to have everything that God has created you, and within you, for you to be able to be, do, and to have. And it's not easy. It's not designed to be easy, and it's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, there are going to be times when you will go through those emojis, those Facebook emojis, multiple times during the day. But when you're dedicated and you're committed to living the life that God has created you to live, definition is a part of it. But it's tough, because you have your entire life where other people, it starts with our parents and our families and our friends, and then school and this and that, and then TV and radio and magazines. Everybody's telling you who you should be and who you should not be. And they're trying to define you. But you have to define yourself so that others can't and will not be able to confine you. Because that's bondage. That's mental bondage. It's emotional bondage. you know, in some respects, it could even be physical bondage. So you have to be very, very, you know, very intentional and very aggressive with the life that you want to live. And you have to not give in, not give up, and not give out.
That's good. And you know, simply just knowing that you're enough. It don't matter whether you don't have the cars, clothes, the perfect body. If you got cellulite, live it to have, you are still you are still enough. You have to look in the mirror and be like, girl, I am still the bomb. I
Let
don't
me
care
tell
if
you
your hair got a
something.
gangster lean, I am still the bomb.
Girl, in the morning, and this is no lie, when I get up and I go to the bathroom, I'm talking my hair be sticking up like heat miser. Again, this Carol's daughter, don't y'all be fooled now. It don't look like this when I wake up. Y'all check out my Facebook page. You'll see where I post the pictures, what it really looked like. But the first thing I do, I'm in the mirror. I got, you know, eye boogers and everything else. I'm looking all crazy. And I'm like, girl, you a bad, bad girl. Angela, I
There you
love you.
go.
I respect you. I admire you.
Love it.
Everything, like I'm setting the intention for everything that I want people external to do for me. I'm looking in the mirror, and this is what I'm saying to Angela. I'm like, you're just like on the help. You is smart. You is kind.
Oh, girl, no, you did
Girl,
not.
listen. I'm like, you is smart. You is kind. You know, you are powerful, you are wise, you are strong,
Yes.
you're confident, you're courageous, you're blessed, you're
Yes.
prosperous.
Yes.
Everything that I want to bring and to attract and to align with in my life for me, you know, those are things that I'm affirming, affirming to myself. Because if you don't tell yourself that, okay, I'm gonna say this and then I'm done. Think about it like this. I'm looking at you and I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty. Or I give you a card and I'm saying, oh, just because you're this or that, or I'm so proud of you. How many times do you actually do that for yourself?
That's good.
We never do,
We don't.
you know, but we've been taught that it's egotistical or that is vain or that you're being shallow. But I'm not saying, you know, putting myself above anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But how can I acknowledge you if I don't even acknowledge myself?
That's good. It's important.
So start acknowledging yourself, ladies. Start
Mm-hmm.
uplifting and encouraging and empowering and motivating, illuminating yourself first, and then we can do it for others.
And that's good that you say that, because you have to be motivated for you before you can be motivated for somebody else, you know. And I talked about that on another video about, you know, when I was single, when I was early, in my early 20s, I would, you know, put on lingerie for myself. I'm going to bed cute. It may not be biggest secret, but I was a secret that I had on, and I would go to bed cute. I would set candles in the house for myself, put on body bath, date yourself. Learning to
Absolutely.
fall in love. I always tell women, learning to fall in love with yourself is the best feeling ever, because if you don't love yourself and you don't know what that feeling like, how are you gonna try to get somebody else and have them to raise them to these higher expectations when you don't even meet the expectations for yourself, you know? So falling in love with yourself, it takes work, but it is the most rewarding and beautiful feeling ever. Just taking yourself out to eat. If that means McDonald's, McDonald's. If that means sitting in a park, get you a nice blanket and get you a turkey sandwich because you can't afford Subway. Because we're like, I ain't got no money. Get you a turkey sandwich, girl. Sit in a park. Date yourself. Look in the mirror. I don't care if you think you ugly. Say, girl, you cute. Tomorrow you're gonna say, girl, you cute. And you might say, I'm really, if you say I'm cute. And by the end of the month, you can be like, girl, I am cute. Because once
That's
you
right.
tell yourself something so much, you start to believe it.
You
Because we
believe
act out
it.
what we say we do, you know, we act out our thoughts. So when you say it so long, you believe it. I am the bomb. I am all that. You know, people are like, oh, she thinks she better than I am because you said it. I am all that.
That's right.
Okay. Thank
One of
you.
the things that I share with my mentees is that the heart and the mind obey what you say.
Ooh, that's good.
So you have to really be careful what you tell your heart and what you tell your mind, because it's constantly listening. So if you're saying I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, eventually that's what, you know, what's going to be brought, that's going to be aligned with you, and that's what you're going to start believe. You know, that's what you're going to start believing. But you're absolutely right. Your heart and your mind, they obey
Yes.
you.
Angela, thank you so much for coming on. Continue with your reels and just sharing your love and, you know, your beautiful spirit. I was watching the reel you had, girl, with the cowboy hat. with the cowboy song. I'm gonna call you out. Okay. Yes, I was watching you the other day with the cowboy hat and the cowboy song with your little cowboy. Yes, I was. Okay. And so that was just so cute. But anyway, you be two-stepping. And I'm like, Naranda, you gotta get some rhythm because I ain't got no rhythm. My arm and body just don't move together. It's like retarded.
Listen, it don't matter, sweetheart. Dance anyway. Just like that song says. There's one I think with at the end of Tyler Perry's what is the family that prays? It's the Gladys Knight version, but there's another version where it says, I hope you dance. So it says when if you get a chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. So dance, girl, rhythmless and all. You know,
I gotta work on that one. I don't know if I
like
got
me.
that yet.
I have no harmony when it comes to singing, but the Lord says make a joyful noise, so I sing to the top of my lungs.
Well, you guys, we want to thank Angela
Pleasure.
so much for coming on. I enjoyed this interview. It was great. And once again, thank you for rocking that high heels and destiny shirt,
All
girl.
right,
I
there
see
we
pretty
go,
and ugly
girl.
teacher. Hey.
Hey, don't stop.
Get it, girl, get it, girl, get the girl. Amazing. It looked absolutely amazing on you. So, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to High Heels and Destiny. I hope Angela said something that can be a blessing to you. Once again, go check out her social media, her website, sheisthebomb.com. Okay, you won't be missing out. So, you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for tuning in so much.